All right, quick video. The esteemed retired Colonel Richard Kemp, not to be confused with our own Georgia, Brian Kemp, has these words to say. The Islamification of the UK, just like they're trying to do in the United States. The Estados Unidos, they're trying to Islamify the United States, they're trying to Islamify the UK, they're trying to Islamify the West. This was an invasion, right? And he says, if the UK wanted to do something about it, they would have already done it. It's going to be a civil war, apparently. Meaning the government would have done something about it. But they're the ones that allowed it.
The government now, or no prospective government of the UK, if they want to take...
That is very low. I have it cranked up as high as it can go.
Occurring. No government, either the government now or no prospective government of the UK, has the guts to stop it. If they want to take strong action to prevent the Islamification of the UK, then it's going to mean big trouble for them. They don't want trouble. They look 4 years ahead. They will kick the can down the road to somebody else. And I think the end result of that is very likely to be civil war in Britain, where the indigenous...
Physical civil war.
Actual civil... I'm not talking about the American Civil War. No. Armies. I'm talking about something more like Northern Ireland, but on a much more intensive scale, where you have the indigenous British and the some of the immigrant population and the British government all on three different sides fighting against each other. And I'd be very surprised if that doesn't happen, because there's no prospect of the government, any government today, stopping this from occurring.
Well, it's these friggin' fucking Western governments that have been infiltrated by commies that allowed this to happen, to get order of chaos, but you already know that. I'm going to play this back and see how loud it is, and if it's real low, I'll point and click. Try this one more time.
Occurring. No government, either the government now or no prospective government of the UK, has the guts to stop it. If they want to take...
Well, they're the ones that started it.
To prevent the Islamification of the UK, then it's going to mean big trouble for them. They don't want trouble. They look 4 years ahead. They will kick the can down the road to somebody else. And I think the end result of that is very likely to be civil war in Britain, where the indigenous...
Physical civil war.
Actual civil... I'm not talking about American Civil War,
No.
armies. I'm talking about something more like Northern Ireland, but on a much more intensive scale, where you have the indigenous British and the some of the immigrant population and the British government all on three different sides fighting against each other. And if I'd be very surprised if that doesn't happen, because there's no prospect of the government, any government today, stopping this from occurring.
Well, stop and ask yourself, who the fuck allowed all these invaders in? It's these New World Order governments. It's the UK government that's been infiltrated by globalists. It's Germany's government. It's France's government. It's the West's government that has been infiltrated by these fucking commies that allowed all these, including Beijing Joke Burden, the last 4 years, allowing all these invaders in. Now all of a sudden, they want to go, I think there's going to be a civil war. Oh my God, it's going to be the indigenous people versus the invaders versus the government. A three-way fight here. A big sausage party of sorts. Men fighting men and all this stuff. The Islam and the indigenous and the UK and Western governments. It's done on purpose. Done on porpoise. Done by design. Order of chaos. Clive Piven strategy, right? Overload and overburden the governments and the system so much that it breaks, right? Because that's what they want. I just saw a video of a fucking, it was a libtarded, I think University of Minnesota. I think she was posing as a Native American, saying that she's on a mission to destroy America, deconstruct it, however you want to phrase it. We have so many enemies within our nations. England has their share, France has its share, Germany has its share, America damn sure has its share, so does Canada, etc. That we need a tremendous collective exorcism of all these fucking demons. I already went over that. I don't know when. I don't know what it's going to take. Maybe it's going to take a big CW, but that's also what these bitches want. They're pushing for a race war, a civil war, any kind of chaos. Look at the shit going on in Minnesota with ice. Well, it's all manufactured. It's not organic. Of course, well, fake news is brainwashing their sheeple to go out there and fight against ICE. But by and large, these organizations are organized. We already know this stuff, right? It's just any way they can get this shit. Pisses me off. And I see it for what it is. I know you guys see it for what it is. But I want to give you a heads up that even in the UK, they're talking about a fucking civil war. You down with that, England? Huh, British? You down with that? Where are my British sisters and brothers out there? What do you got to say about this? How is this a thing over there? You know what I mean? How's this a thing anywhere, really, to be honest with you? Even in America. Land of the free, home of the brave? No, it's land of the fee, because they're always paying taxes and shit. And getting ripped off. Home of the slave. I don't know if I got anything else for you. Let me poke around the internet and see the deep, darkest crevices. Not mainstream. I want to know what's going on out there from people on the ground reporting. I'm not interested in what mainstream has to say. Although I do have some nifty articles that I've been sitting on for about a week. I'm going to try to do a traditional, longer format video tomorrow night. I'm going to try. Because I have it all lined up. And we are going to talk about Civil War in America. It's pretty much already started. All right, so give me a second. Stand by. At any rate, I am thinking this is pretty damn sick. Speaking of the UK, it's demented, really, to be honest with you. Demented counselor pushes children, to send Valentine's cards to male invader migrants, to the invaders, men. This right here, this piece of crap, the Green Party. What is the Green Party? Is that like your version of our Libtard demon crap party? Green. Yeah, they're gonna turn your whole society green, meaning they're gonna make them sick. You know, turning green, feeling sick, because that's what they're about. These libtards. Green Party, Green Councillor in the UK has sparked outrage by announcing plans to take her young grandchildren to deliver handmade Valentine's Day cards to adult male invaders. Okay, they call them asylum seekers. They're not. They're invaders. Grown-ass men that probably get off on youngins. This stupid bitch right here is a child abuser, because you're a child abuser. If you're going to have your grandchildren make Valentine's Day cards to absolute strangers, especially grown-ass men who are invaders of your country and come there to do harm more often than not, then you're a child abuser. And you teach them wrong. That's not love, idiot. That's suicide. That's being what do you call that? When you like abuse, sadomasochist, something like that. You like punishment. That's what these demon craps like. They like eating their own shit over and over again. They like doing the same shit over and over again, getting punished, getting shitted on. Like, for instance, if votes really counted, calm down, bitch, shoot. If votes really counted, they keep voting for these fucking commies, and then they wonder why they're getting shit on by these fucking commies. Same thing here. This idiot is trying to be nice and pander to invaders that invaded or allowed to invade your country. And you have your grandchildren write lovey-dovey Valentines to male invaders? That's very strange. What's on her computer? I think that's very odd. Only for these male invaders, if they ever get a chance, well, they'll show love to your grandchildren. You sick bastard, you. You sick, stupid son of... I can't stand these libtards. I don't give a shit if you're in England, France, Germany, doesn't matter. Down under in Australia, you got your share of libtards. Doesn't matter where they're from. I loathe these libtards. Their stupidity and their evil, wicked ways are dangerous. So listen to this. Her doing this comes amid widespread local opposition to the government's decision to house illegals. So you got a bunch of people in England saying, we don't even want to house these bitches. But then you got this dumbass of the Green Party that's actually having her grandchildren deliver handmade Valentine's Day cards to these places where these invaders are housed. So she's for the housing of invaders. She's for giving Valentine's Day cards, rolling out the red carpet to them. Why don't you just house them at your shack? What do they call those? apartments, your flat over there in England. Why don't you have these invaders come over to your flat, and you could personally hand out your Valentine's Day cards to the invaders at your own flat? Oh, you won't do that. You'll go visit them at the shelter that most of your fellow British people do not like. They don't want them housed in shelters. They want these migrants to be gone. So you're endorsing illegal invader behavior. Call them invaders. All right? So this dumbass's name is Anne Cross. An East Sussex County councillor made the announcement at a heated public meeting, claiming it would help dispel fear by encouraging people to hear the stories of the invaders. They're calling them migrants in the article. They're fucking invaders. I don't want to hear their stories. I don't give two shits about their stories. Everyone has a story. You want to hear my story? Huh? Hear your story? The stories of the indigenous people count more than these fucking invaders. Here's a story. Here's a story about the invaders. They need to be put on trains and sent to FEMA camps. If Big Brother doesn't want to do that, then send them back to the third world shithole they came from. That's a story. That's a story I want to hear. Send them to a fucking FEMA camp. Alright? Or send them back to the third world shithole. That's the story I want to hear about these invaders. I don't give two shits about their hardships. Everyone has a hardship story. Fact that noise. These bitches are creating even more of a hardship on the people in America and Canada and England and every other place they invaded. But this was also, don't forget, brought on by the infiltrators of your government. Brought to you by the infiltrators of your own government. So here's what this jerk-off Anne Cross has to say, councillor, Green Party. She says, I don't know if I'm up to doing a British accent right now. There is nothing like getting to know people and hearing their stories in order to dispel fear. My grandchildren and I painted some Valentine's cards at the weekend. At the weekend? You mean during the last weekend? Which we are going to be presenting to the men of Crowborough as a welcome. Don't believe me? Just watch.
My grandchildren and I painted some cards, Valentine cards, at the weekend, which we are going to be presenting to the men in the camp at Crowborough as a
I'm
welcome.
sure the men are going,
and I urge us all across the county as representatives, as members of our local community, to stand with all those who want to share the love.
Oh, I'm sure these men want to share the love back with you, as gnarly as you look, and your grandchildren, because these are sick bastards. These are third world shithole dwellers that some of them might come into the West to actually want to work and stay out of the way. They're still illegal, nonetheless. But a majority of them, already went over that information, come from prisons, insane asylums, and everything not nice, and they were released into the West. And you're going to go over there and show them love. How about showing your own fellow countrymen that are down and out? I'm sure you got a lot of poor indigenous British people that, every time you walk by, they hold their hat out hoping you'll throw a coin into it. Why don't you try helping them out? Just same thing in America. We got millions of homeless people. How about helping them out? How about helping out the homeless vets? No, you won't do that. You want to go make gay-ass Valentine's cards, which is also a pagan holiday, Valentine's, and give them to these men invaders. By the way, notice it's men. She didn't say any women invaders or migrants invaders. It's men, because we have been invaded mostly by men, sprinkled with some in the videos you've seen from the mainstream media to show people they're sheeple, especially fake news. They'll show women in the mix and some children. Well, that's just to throw the people off, the sheeple off, into thinking these are families coming here by and large. No, we have been invaded by mostly men in our countries, and it's an army. Okay, I've gone over this for the last 5 years. I'm not repeating myself again. That's why she said they're giving them Valentine's Day cards to these invader men. She didn't say women. Why not? I thought we had invader children. Didn't these invaders bring their children over here? How come they're not making it's normal for your grandchild to be like a pen pal of some sort, like, because when I was in elementary school, I had a pen pal. I even think it was in England, but it might not been. I think it was, but I had a pen pal. I didn't feel like writing a letter to him. I didn't know the person, the kid, but we were made to write. We had each signed a pen pal. We had to write a letter periodically in elementary school. Well, your children are not making Valentine's Day cards for invader children. They're invader peers. Not even for women. Not even for girls. Nothing. These are for men. And these men are not here to help you out whatsoever at all. They're not there to assimilate. They're not there to lift your country up to a new next level. No. They're not. They're only there for one reason: to mooch and do what they do in your country, like they roll in their third world country. That's about it. You dumb asshole. And cross. Yeah, you got your wires crossed because you're doing a real stupid thing right there. Horrible thing, having your grandchildren make Valentine's Day cards for fucking invaders. That's what I got for you. It's pretty late. I'm going to put this video together. It's short, but apparently the theme is Civil War. Her pandering and catering to these assholes that are going to be part of the Civil War if the beast system gets its way. And another theme of this video, and I didn't plan it that way, this happens to be about the UK. But don't worry, because this also applies to America, and I'm going to address that hopefully tomorrow. It's just very involving and time-consuming to put it together, and well, I have to allot that kind of time if I can. Like I said, gone are the days when I triple over myself to make those videos of an hour long. Gone are those days, because I'm living my life as best as possible. I suggest you do too. Enjoy your life as much as possible, and just do what you can do to wake the sheeple up. That's what I got for you. And it doesn't matter if I'm just sitting here talking to you. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't have to put visuals. I don't have to put elaborate videos together or whatever. A ton of articles and all that. I think you got the idea of what's going on. All right. I wanted to show you a video of this very realistic robot. It's so that the Chinese have created. It's so realistic that when they showed the audience the robot, I mean, I watched it walk. It was a woman robot. Put that in quotes, woman. But it was walking like an actual human woman. It wasn't clunky and all that shit. It was walking like a woman would walk. Same gait. Is that the right word or whatever? It was walking like an actual human being, a woman human being. It was so real that they had to cut it open to show the audience that it wasn't a person. It was wires in there, and it was a robot. I did want to show you that. I might find it. I might not. I don't know. Maybe Lou Frigg knows. This is what I got. If you don't be a troll. Houston, we have a problem, a real problem. These dumb assholes that are helping, aiding, and abetting these fucking invaders. I am